I'm Tim.
I'm Anna.
This is the Geeked Up Game Review Group. We're going to bring you guys a review of Terrene Odyssey. Terrene Odyssey?
Terrene.
Terrene. T-E-R-R-E-N-E Odyssey. It's a party-based card
combat game.
I was going to say party-based combat game, but it's party-based card combat. Don't have to say that 10 times. So let's go ahead and go over to the tabletop, and we'll show you guys the box, show you guys what's inside the box, show you guys how to set up, and some gameplay.
Oh, and our conclusion.
Alright guys, so here we have the box to Terrene Odyssey, the party-based card game. And I added a word and forgot to say the right word. Party-based card combat. So let's go ahead and go over to the back of the box.
Before we do that, I want to point out that on the box you have 4 players versus 4 players and 2 different terrains, which is really a good representative of how the game actually plays. So I really like the box art. So that's all.
So on the back it has a small little story, and it tells you that it is a card battle game for 2 to 4 players, ages 12 and up, playable in 15 to 45 minutes. If you've played it before, it'll take a little longer.
15 to 45 minutes is. Did I say 15 or 15? I don't know what I just said. Anyways, the minutes is based off, you can play it in 1 match, or you can play 3 matches for a full game. We tend to just play 1 match at a time and just enjoy it.
Yeah, I would never try to play 3 matches at a single time.
I mean, we don't combine the matches to make a game, even though Tim's been kicking my butt at it.
Okay, so on the back of the box, I'm going to go ahead and read the backstory to this. It says, worlds collide. A rift in time has fractured the world, releasing strange, dangerous machines into the landscape and bringing together warriors who wish to fight the incoming horde, or reap its riches of strange technology. Terrene Odyssey is a self-contained, competitive card game inspired by battle systems from your favorite RPG video games. Recruit your 4-character party of adventurers from a cast of dozens. Carefully select their commands and items and do battle with your opponent's own team. Defeat their characters to gain XP and level up to your specifications. You must master the elements and changing terrain to be the last party standing and the winner. So inside you'll find 6 30-card decks plus 144 additional cards, 324 in all, 2 sheets of status and condition tokens, 16-page full-color rulebook, and 6 suggested build sheets. Also, this box, I do not know what it is made out of. I'm guessing just regular cardboard, but I feel like this thing is really sturdy.
Here we have the rulebook. It's full color. It's really nicely laid out. They said they're going to make a few changes to it. We suggested a glossary, which would be helpful. In the back here, you have builds for the decks. These are the pre-built decks. They're not put in order. When you open the box, you have to go make them yourselves. And then with the pre-constructed decks is player reference sheets. This tells you what you have to do to play the game. And something I would suggest, you could either write it here, or if they print again, because I'm sure they'll watch this, I would also suggest putting the player turn, the turn overview, which is right here. It's not on the sheet, and I think that that would be a good thing to have on the sheet. On the back of each one of these sheets, they all have the picture of the hero that the deck's built around, and it tells you suggested starting parties for the game if you're first player or second player. So that's really nice kind of reference to have if it's your first time playing. And we used it the first time we played, but then after that we really just kind of went wild and made our own decks. So here we have Tim and I's decks that we've created ourselves. We did not go off the player sheets on these, we just made them ourselves. And they're 30-card decks. Here is the items. And you can see how many there are there, minus what we have in our decks. The commands. There's lots of commands. And these both are the characters There's lots of characters. And these are your heroes. And each card has 3 copies in the game so that people can have multiple characters.
Did you already do locations?
No.
And these are the locations and what they'll look like.
Terrene.
And then we have these tokens here. So there's the action tokens. We have the tokens to represent other characters that are spawned by certain cards. We have stun and SP minus. I think there might be SP plus in there. I don't see any at the moment. Plus level tokens and the XP tokens. So if you have 1 XP, 2 XP, all that. And of course we have the damage tokens.
There's 5 and 10 are on one, 15 and 20 are on the other.
Yes, and then there's also defense plus and minus tokens. The only one that we didn't find was minus attack tokens, but we have some plus attack tokens.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a card that Anna runs in her deck that turns my guys to minus 10 attack, but there wasn't a token for that.
Now we'll go to the setup of the game and how to play.
Alright guys, so we have everything set up. So in your very first part in the starting, as we showed you on the little back of the sheets, me and Anna built our own deck, so they're not going to match any of those. But this is how you're going to set it up. You're going to have your location here. So me and Anna, we both have our locations, and then you're going to pick your 4 characters that you want out here, and you will have.
That's what's cool about it. You get to choose what starting characters you want.
And you will have 1 hero that does not have to necessarily be out here. But the characters that you choose in your starting hand do have to be 1 SP, and that is a supply point. So, I personally have a character with 0 SP, which I believe is legal. So I'm not very sure, so I might be having an illegal starting hand right now. But I am below the 1 SP, so I thought it was okay. If it's not okay, then that's a house rule, but just know that this needs to be 1 SP on these characters.
And you have to attach an item or command to each character. And then you get your action tokens, and that's based off of your location. It will tell you how many actions you get at this location. And then your deck, which is shuffled. You don't get to choose where those go.
And we will just allow Anna to go first. Now you can choose by flipping a coin, flipping a card, flipping an action coin, going out and doing a hopscotch tournament. Whatever you want to do.
Okay, so I'm going to use an action to get this character out, 1 to recruit this character, and 1 to recruit this character. This command, which this command has an ability on it, it's ongoing.
Now if you have a card that specifies that you can attack a hidden character, these are considered hidden.
No, these are. These are not hidden.
Well, I mean before they're...
Right. These
so these are all hidden. These are hidden.
Oh, you're supposed to draw too. I forgot that part.
Draw 1.
Draw 1, and you have unlimited hands. I'm going to just show you a breakdown of the card. Here's your level. Here's your SP. Your level gives you XP based on if you kill a character or not. So if you kill a character that's 1 SP, you get 1 XP. If you kill a character that's a level 2, you get 2 XP, not SP. Anyway, so then here you have your your health points. Here you have your attack, and here you have your defense. And here's the ability, and we'll show you how those attack. The first player cannot attack. The second player can. So now it's Tim's turn to go ahead, because I'm going to leave this one here. And he gets to draw his card.
Yes, so draw my card. And right now is a card that I cannot use. So I will pay 1 action to flip...
Recruit.
Flip, recruit, yes. My hero. And then I'll use 1 action token to bring out my spell, which right now doesn't do anything because you have to have a spellcaster to cast
I'm sorry,
a spell.
I meant to play this. Reduce when a character is recruited. Reduce that a character's attack by 10, and that's what we're talking about. There is known, so I'm going to reduce her attack by 10.
Yes. Okay, so back to what I was saying about the spell is that you can't use a spell on any character. It has to be a spellcaster. Now there is a couple cards in here that will allow me to turn my characters into spellcasters. So right now this isn't going to be able to do anything. There are also, I'm going to go ahead and just pay an action to flip him over. Yes. There are also tacticians, which will set off traps. So, this one says that traps can only be activated if you control a tactician. I control a tactician. It is not attached to him, but I can still use it. Now, spells have to be contacted with a spellcaster, so it would have to be in the same column.
Well, you can't use that yet because the hero's not recruited.
Right. But just to show you guys the different cards, I went ahead and used my actions for that. Because I don't have anything else that I want to do.
So your end of turn?
But I can attack, yes?
No, you've used all your actions.
Oh, that's right, yes. It costs 1 action to attack. I was about to be like, you just said. But yeah, it's your turn now.
So now it's end of turn, so this comes off. Because this said until end of turn. So you start by flipping over your actions, starting fresh, drawing your card. Ooh. And I'm going to use an action to attack. I'm going to use this guy right here, and he's attacking with 10.
And I will just allow all 10 of that to go through because he's not a big enough issue for me to worry about it. So
and
you can
your
set the
health
10.
is 50, by the way. Once you've lost 50 health or have lost all of your characters, you lose. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
And that's all of your characters at the same time.
Right.
Like if she loses this character and then replenishes with another one, then that's fine. But when you lose these characters, you also lose the cards down at the bottom, and you can still stay in the game. So you did 10 damage to me. So I can either put it on my terrain. I usually put it in front of me. I'm actually.
The rulebook says to put it on your terrain, but.
Oh, okay. And I've actually been looking for a damage counter on my phone because I make it easier that way. So.
And then I'm going to flip over this character for an action. I'm going to flip over this spell for an action. And this one's a spellcaster, so she's able to have the spell. And I'm going to leave that there. And I'm going to flip this over for that. And you have these abilities that you can use on your terrain that's based on XP of your cards. So it's an immediate thing that happens once you hit that XP. And now it will be Tim's turn.
Alright, so I will replenish my action tokens. I will draw my 1 card. And I'll go ahead and use an action token to bring this character out into play as a recruit. And why not? Let's just go ahead and attack with the scout.
Now here's how an attack works. His attack is 10, and I'm going to defend with... Oh, what is he doing out here? This is not legal. This isn't illegal because it's an SP of 2. You can only have
A total of 4.
4. So we'll just switch those turns.
Also, since we're talking about bloopers here, I also messed up. When Zoe is recruited, I am able to search through my deck and actually recruit a scout for 0 SP, which would give me the 5th.
But you wouldn't be able to recruit it because you already had 4 out with SP.
But I've only got
Oh, for 0.
3.
0.
Yeah, because I have 0 here, and then that would cost 0. And then...
See, you gotta pay attention to the cards, because if you miss something, it's like any card game. Sometimes you can miss something, sometimes you don't. And you just kind of learn the rule.
Definitely when you flip a card over, read all of the text, make sure you do all of its effects when it happens. Like your trap cards are supposed to be hidden and everything. And you can look at your cards, just make sure that you put them back face down and everything.
So you're attacking with him, right?
Yes.
So he is attacking with 10. I'm going to block with this character. This character has a defense of 0, so it's 10 minus 0, which is 10, and then my HP is 20, so I'm going to take 10 damage on this character. But the thing is, if you are killed and there's rollover damage, there's leftover damage that didn't hit the character, that will actually roll over to you. So you have to be really strategic with who you block with and when. So are you going to do anything else? You just attacked? Did you recruit? You recruited and you attacked.
Oh yes, that would have been a token for attacking. No. But I also messed up on this trap here.
It's supposed to say face down, right?
Yeah, it says an opponent hides a character. It's one action. I recruit that character, deal 10 stab damage, and silence the character.
So now it's my turn?
Oh, now that I read that out loud, that means when it's face down.
Well, when I hide a character. So wouldn't it be when I put it out hidden?
Yes.
Okay.
So I can basically still use this. It's just face up instead of face down. You just need
to have the action when I hide a character.
Yes.
Draw my card. And I guess I will attack with my Luminous.
Okay. So I'll take, how much are you attacking?
15.
Well, then I'll just take all 15.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So this is how you play the game in a few short sequences.
This is how you take damage.
That's how you take damage, apparently. Like I said, remember that damage does roll over. So if he would attack this character with 15, let's just say, for example, the 5 would roll over because his health point's 20. He already has 10, so he's hit with more. So it would roll over. And you play, like we said, until 50 points on your player is taken off, or you lose all 4 of your characters. And the game rules state that you play like 3 rounds, like best of 3. You play, they're matches that make up a game. But we kind of like just playing one match. So now we'll tell you what we think of the game.
Alright guys, so we show you guys how to set the game up, show you guys how to play, show you some of the cards in the box. So I will let Anna go first on what she thinks of Terrene Odyssey.
Well, I text him probably 4 or 5 times a day, every day, saying, I want to play Terrene Odyssey. And to be honest, we played the game wrong for about 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We played it wrong, but we had a blast playing it wrong.
And we had a lot of questions that weren't being answered, but
we just like to get all our questions at once and then send them to a creator or designer.
Yes, or someone that's played the game a lot and knows a lot of the card explanations and interpretations of what it means.
And they were very helpful and answered our questions.
Yeah, and the one person that we did have contact us first actually was responsible for the balance of the game. And then we actually talked to the creator as well and had some questions answered. So I think we've got it all figured out now. And we did...
There's still flubs with any game that you have when you don't read the card text when it plays. I mean, that happens on a lot of games we play.
Yeah, and I always usually end up shooting myself in the foot, basically, and losing a game because I didn't do... Like, I'll be like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. It's all going to work together. Yeah, it would if I actually would read my cards and be like, oh, yeah, this is supposed to do this. But the game is fairly new to us, and learning the cards of all the cards of what they do. Eventually, we'll just look at the card and know what it does, and we won't have to read the text. And so we'll play it enough to get to that point and everything. And I think we do that with a lot of card games that are card based. What's nice about this is it plays. I shouldn't say it plays like a TCG or anything like that, but it's like getting a collectible card game all in one box.
Yeah. And what's really, really awesome and something I really love about it is that you have the freedom to create the deck how you want it. You can, and it says it's a RPG based on RPG video games, and you can make a tank, you can make a healer, you can make...
That's not that style RPG.
It's not?
No,
Oh.
It's more like Final Fantasy,
Well...
where it's turn-based
Oh, well...
RPG style.
Oh, well... I feel like you can create a party and make... You can create, and you can create it out all over one hero. Like, I have basically a healing deck, a deck that allows me to heal myself and my characters. And he has a straight spawn deck, where it allows him to spawn other creatures for free.
I wish I had Spawn in this game. You know who Spawn is?
Isn't he a villain? Oh, well. Don't question me.
We need a Spawn-style character, Mr. Solace.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
That'd be an awesome expansion. You don't have to make him Spawn. Just make him do things that Spawn does. So.
Anyway, whatever the heck he's talking about, I love this game. And this is probably the most hesitant game I was of the games we got to review this year. That I was like, oh, I don't want to learn that game. But not based on the box, not based on anything, but based on it was a party combat game that I thought, oh, this is going to be too hard for me to learn. But really, it's not. There's questions you have about it, and they are rewriting the rulebook, which I think is going to be a great thing.
I don't know if they're rewriting the rulebook. I think they're implementing things.
Editing it.
A Q&A. They're going to put.
Yeah.
They're going to do a Q&A and FAQs.
I suggested the
which are pretty much the same
glossary to
thing.
them.
And they're going to post that on their webpage. So that should be. So that'll make it easier for when you do have a question, stuff like that. And then I feel like we not a big part into it, but it was kind of nice to be like, hey, maybe one of these would be a good idea or something like that. And so like the glossary thing.
The only criticism I have of the entire game is the action tokens have arrows on them, and almost every card has an arrow on it, and I thought that everything that had an arrow on it was an action, that you had to use an action to do it. Like in the Terrene cards, there's little arrows after the XP, and I thought you needed to use an action to activate those.
Yeah.
But the cards will say
They'll say action
on it,
the word
so you
action.
know that you need to use the action. So that's the only criticism I have, is that it was confusing with the arrows. And we told him that, and he said it was interesting. So I think that maybe it's not something that's common that people would think of, but it's just something that I think that we thought of. So
yeah.
But
one of the
otherwise-
things that I really like about this game is that these cards are going to take forever to wear out, because they are made of, like, the whole game is made of like really sturdy components. We have to side shuffle the cards because they're like,
I try to shuffle them normal.
like now that I play all my other games, I'm like, well, these cards are really flimsy compared to Terrene Odyssey. Like these cards in this box are really
Thick.
really gonna last. Yeah, and are really, really thick. The box, I mean, it's sturdy enough it can almost be a weapon if somebody breaks into your house. Just grab your box and just chuck it at them.
Yes, home security and playing games.
Yes,
all
Terrene
in
Odyssey,
one.
right here, home security.
I really, really enjoy this game. I've had a blast playing it, even when we were playing it completely wrong.
Yeah, well, I told the creator that. I was like, we've been playing the game wrong, but we've been having a lot of fun playing it wrong, so we want to try and play it right and see if we can still have fun with it. So.
And they have a lot of different artists that came together to create the card art, and I love the card art. I like that that's different. I'm not a fan of angular art, so there are some cards like this one on the back of the box
The
that
anime style.
I don't really care for, but there's like little cute characters and dragons.
And it's really neat to see that there's different artists, but all the art style like flowed together. There was no.
It didn't look like, oh, that's out of place.
There was no card that was like, this doesn't match the theme at all. Like everything went together and came together really nicely. So I'm glad that they got funded on Kickstarter, and I'm really glad that we got a review copy of this.
And something we didn't mention is in there we had in the hero deck we had the Kickstarter promos for the heroes. So it had, and something that's cool is that there's 3 copies of every card in the game. So you have the opportunity to have some same cards and stuff, and also to have duplicates in your own deck if there's a card you really like. But it's so cool because like this is the first game I think I've really felt comfortable going and building my own deck after playing it one time with a pre-built deck. Because even Pokemon, I just straight up will play with my pre-built deck that comes in the little packages. Like I will play that until a new one comes out. And Tim's like, oh, you should go create your own deck. And I'm like, oh no, I can't do that. I'm a pre-built deck person.
A pre-built player.
Yeah, I am. I'm very afraid to go outside of what comes in the box because everything I need to play is in that box. But this game, everything you need to play is in the box, and you get to pre-build your own deck, and I had a lot of fun with it.
I think the freedom of this is that the cards aren't tied to a certain faction. They're not tied to a certain hero.
There are
some that
elements
that will buff a certain hero, but you can still use them on a different hero. You just won't get the same effect.
And like your terrain can buff your elemental characters and stuff like that, and some cards say that it doesn't affect a character of this element or something like that. So that you need to be aware of. But other than that, it's way fun.
There's a character, I can't remember what his name is, but he's a spellcaster, and he's the blue guy.
I don't remember their names. Mr. something.
On here, Mr. White. Is it Mr. White? Something like that. Okay, so anyways, he's got blue skin, looks kind of like alienish. So Anna's gonna pull him out real quick. Yes, this guy.
His name is Mr. White the Astute.
Aha, Mr. White. So, Mr. Blue.
The Avatar dude with horns.
Yeah, so he is a spellcaster. I just had to check to make sure. He's a spellcaster, and even though he looks like he would be a water spell casting style of a guy, you can use which is actually in the lineup on the defense side of his build right there, you can actually use fireball and stuff. So it's like, yeah, he might look like a water element style of a character, but he can still use the fire side too, and there's like no weaknesses if you use that style of a spell on any character.
And something that's what makes this game so easy to build your own deck. I'll tell you the requirements. The deck must be exactly 30 cards. You can only have 1 hero in your deck. Your deck must have at least 4 one-supply characters. Your deck must have at least 1 terrain card that can be picked on setup. And your deck must have at least 4 items or commands. That's it. So, go wild, have fun with 30 cards.
And, I mean, those requirements are...
minimum.
Well, they're not requirements, it's just common sense that you can only have 1 SP. You can only have 4 total. I guess the rule of it making it 1 SP on the front would say...
Not you can only have 4. You must have at least 4, minimum 1.
Yeah, so the rule is in your starting lineup, or
you
your
have
starting
to have
loadout...
everything to start.
That you have to have 4 characters. They have to be 1 SP. So having 4 1 SP characters in your deck would only make sense.
Right.
To follow the rules of the layout, and then having the commands and spells, or the commands and items, whether it's all commands or all items that you choose, those 4 are needed in the first loadout anyway. So it's only common sense to have those. So it's pretty much if you read the setup of the game, then that you can build a deck off of that. But they give you the rules of how to build a deck too, so it's all there.
I give this game, I mean, we don't really typically rate games. Maybe we should, I don't know. I give this game like a 9 out of 10. And the 10 is the one that I'm docking is probably just the fact that we didn't exactly know how to play the game correctly without asking questions. But that's minor compared to what the game can provide and do because I really, really enjoyed it. What about you?
I'm not doing the rating thing.
Oh. Well, I mean, what do you think? You love this?
Yeah, and it's not my favorite game to play, like my very top pick if I was going to pick something off the shelf, but it does have my favorite card stock in it, and that's the sturdiness of the cards, because I actually feel like I'm holding something in my hand, so that's what's going to make me pull this game off of the shelf.
But that being said, even if it wasn't for those cards, you probably would pull it off anyway because you enjoy playing it.
Yes.
I think it's a game we would play regularly, but maybe not his top choice. But I think it's one that we could both agree on that we would enjoy playing regularly. This one will definitely not get dust on the shelf, so.
Yeah.
Got a lot of those. And that's a whole nother, we'll do a segment on why our games get dusty.
Because there's so many.
We don't have time. Probably.
Yeah, so, is that all you have?
Yeah,
That's
A+,
all I have.
we really like this game. I really like this game, I guess. I love it. I can say that. I love this game. I mean, I literally texted you several times a day saying, I want to play the game. And my phone kept auto-correcting Terrene Odyssey to...
Yeah, so she would be like, I want to play... I know what she meant. She meant Terrene, honestly, but then it was like Terrene Odest and Terrene...
So finally I just said T, capital T, capital O, I'm done. Like, I'm going to play T-O.
So I just kept saying, what? What are you talking about? I don't know any terrorist Odest.
Thank you, iPhone autocorrect.
Anyways.
Anyways.
You autocorrect anything. Like, it's so hard to speak game language with autocorrect.
Yeah, Gen Con itself is hard to type. It's like, I don't know.
Well, now it's saved in my phone to where it knows.
Now it is, yeah, but.
Except for Instagram just messed up somehow and erased all my hashtags.
Oh.
So, I was trying to hashtag Terrene Odyssey, and I had to go back and repunch everything in. Nothing's quick anymore, but it's starting to save them now. So that's all good.
Anyways, we love it. Pick up a copy.
Yes, as soon as we find out where they're available, we will tweet it out. I don't know if they're in stores all over yet,
But
or...
We're going to talk to our local game stores about maybe figuring out how to get them because it's something I think that we believe in.
Yeah, and if Alliance distributors start carrying them, or anybody like that, then we'll definitely let you guys know. Yeah. Or you could always contact them on their Facebook page, Terrene Odyssey. Everybody's got a Facebook page these days for their game. So that's
And if you don't get one.
Yeah, if you don't have a Facebook for your game, you need one. Or make sure it's on Board Game Geek. That's like the holding cell of all tabletop. Just make sure it's on Board Game Geek. I don't know how many games I've looked up that were not on there. Look.
Okay.
Look, the guys at BGG work hard. Put your game on there. It's painless for you.
I'm Anna.
I'm Tim.
And this is the Geeked Up Gaming Review Group with Terrene Odyssey.
Terrene Odyssey.
Terrene.
Terrene Odest.
Terrene.
Alright, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.